Shane Warne, absolute legend. I remember when I first played for England, he wasn't a big fan of mine. I'd played him a couple of times in county cricket, and he'd offered me many words of advice, not very nice ones, as an opponent. So he was a formidable opponent. But when I was playing for England and I was doing well, he came up to me and said, "Look, Swanee, you're the most improved player in world cricket, and I'm absolutely rooting for you. When you go out and bowl second in a test match," and this was his advice, he says, "Don't feel the pressure. Live up to it. Be the man. Everyone wants you to win the game for your team. Be that man. Be the man of the match. Think about the newspapers the next day, the press conferences, everyone's singing your name. That's the way to approach it." And so I always went into a game, especially the second half of the game, not feeling the pressure, just thinking, what would Warne do? And he said, "Look, you just go out there and you want to be man of the match. Get that ball in your hand, do your bowling, enjoy every minute and take the wickets." Forever miss him. Absolute legend of a bloke, legend of a player. Without doubt, the best bowler who's ever played Test cricket, in my opinion.
Shane Warne, a lot said about him. Everyone knows about him. A character full of life, and we know what he does and what he brings to the table on and off the field. But I'd like to go a different angle. We would see a lot of arrogance in him in playing the game, and that's oozing with confidence, as you would say. But there was a compassionate side to him as well. I'd like to go back to the impact that he's had in Sri Lanka when people were struggling. 2004, the tsunami happened, and he was there the next week, flown out there, mingling with the people, seeing what happened, trying to lift the spirits of many disadvantaged in that period. And the awareness that he created was amazing. That brought about lots of people from Australia, the Victorian government, builders, and many others in trying to help rebuild a lot of the lives back in Sri Lanka. And he was the first of the visiting or foreign cricketers who had played in that part of the world, because it was special, who came back. There were many others who did follow, but he set the tone, and it was amazing what he did. And that's not to say that he doesn't do anything more in terms of caring for the disadvantaged. That was one instance which really stands out, and up to this date, a lot of Sri Lankans still appreciate what he did, putting smiles on people's faces. And a lot of the Sri Lankan cricketers nowadays would have been very little during that time, and there are a lot of people from that southern area who are in the Sri Lankan team. So directly or indirectly, even the Sri Lankan team at this stage would have gained in Warne contributing to rebuild lots of lives in that period. So it was touching to see him do that, and it's sometimes surprising as well, because he's such a colorful character, and you think he's all about the laughs and jokes and the puns. Well, may his soul rest in peace.
There's so many. For me, it was his ability to rescue games of cricket out of nowhere when nothing is happening, when it's just a benign game that's drifting along, or where Australia were miles behind in the game. You think of the World Cup semi-final where he came on, took 4 for and pulled Australia out of an impossible position. You think of a 2006 Adelaide Test match where nothing was happening, it was going to be a draw, suddenly enters Shane Warne and wins the game on his own. They're the sort of moments that you miss, and you probably don't appreciate until that type of cricketer is gone from the national team. And that's the sort of thing you miss, the ability to give the ball to Warne and he's going to win the game of cricket for you. That's what you miss, that competitiveness, that cheekiness. And then I guess from a personal perspective, I guess his star power. Now, I'll remember myself where I was a commentary box, and everyone was just kicking about out the back and around the lunch table. He said, "Oh, does anyone want to go to Pearl Jam tonight? I've got a few tickets." Pearl Jam was a big band that I loved when I was a kid, so I put my hand up. Sure enough, we go. About 45 minutes later, we were backstage with Pearl Jam, meeting the band and standing right next to the stage for the entire concert. The star power of the guy, the ability to draw people together, the generosity, it will be sorely missed. There was a wonderful memorial tonight, state memorial. The state government put on a memorial for him at the MCG, and they unveiled what used to be known as the Southern Stand, is now known as the Shane Warne Stand. It was fitting tribute, I think, to the man.
Yeah, look, I mean, I have, I don't know, number of years of different relations with Warne. I remember playing against him as a young captain touring Australia, and it was so daunting. I mean, the man, I made my debut against him, got 60 odd. I remember my legs shaking while facing him. It was short legs, silly points, and the likes. And then, through into Australia, I learned so many lessons playing against him. And I think where we really bonded was in 2008. We really formed a friendship. I was South African captain. He was captain of the Royals. We bonded. We went on to win the first IPL together with an underdog team. And that's where our roots began. As a friendship, and it's been a really hard pill to swallow. I've lost a good friend. I think the celebration of Warne was some of the most unique things I've seen, because it was true style Warne. The state funeral was exactly what represented Warne. He was a very caring man. He was rock and roll. He was everything that shone through in all the conversations. And I think besides his children, and I just want to make sure that all of us are there for them, to make sure they grow into something special. I mean, I actually remember a night my parents were on a ship, and the ship, they were looking at the Northern Lights, and the ship, I don't know, hit bad waters and whatever, and they had to be rescued off the ship. And the one man in the middle of the night that sent me a message to check if they were okay was Warne. And I think that epitomizes him. As much as he was this fun-loving, naughty, exciting, famous man that changed the game of cricket, he had a really caring side to him, and he was always the first to sort of step up with a message or see if you need anything. He'll be greatly missed. I love him, and I wish his 3 kids well, and we'll always be there for them. And long live the king.